Manchester United 3, Southampton 1. I'm joined by Ste Howson. Comfortable performance. All you need to look at is the final score, Steve. 3-1. Piece of United smashed it. We were amazing. I mean, I'm sure you wouldn't disagree with any of that.
No. I thought we were on course for like one of our top 10 worst performances I've ever seen. I thought at some points of that game, I was just like, the line pace is off, the line height is off, the midfield is off. Like Toby Collier came on and looked like our best midfielder, actually. After taking Ugarte and Mainu off, who've both had like really strong seasons, the pair of them as well, really. I mean, Mainu in recent weeks has looked like he was getting back to the player he was last year. He's just done all of that tonight. Ugarte's been an inspired signing, cult hero, getting hooked after 51 minutes for an academy player. Not a good sign. Lenny Yoro just looked like, I don't know, he came in and had like a Paddy Evra against City debut, didn't he? Like it was one of them. What's going on here, lad? It was poor all around. Rasmus Højlund, I don't know if they're still looking for him. Like, I don't know what he did. Not enough.
No.
It was poor. The only player, even Ahmad until the goals really wasn't at it, wasn't himself. He was probably the brightest spark, but it certainly wasn't the constant threat that he's been all season. I think the only player that could probably look himself in the mirror after the game until that last 80th minute onwards is like Mazraoui. I think he was the only one that hadn't really cocked anything up too badly. But yeah, Amad Diallo, I mean, we are in relegation fight if it's not for him this year.
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? Like, we were talking before when the game was on, thinking maybe we bring him off, make a sub, whether it's Garnacho or Ahmad, neither of them really doing anything. You can, toss a coin.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been mad. If you'd have said, hook him after 75, no one would have been like, whoa, what are you doing? He's going to score a hat-trick in the next 5 minutes. You'd been like, what?
I know.
Shut up.
Just on him then, because where he's gone from 6 months ago or 3 months ago under Ten Hag, not getting a game, seeming like he was a spare part in a dysfunctional team, let alone, the star man, to now where he's the one bailing us out. He's getting goals against Liverpool, he's getting the winner against City, he wins us the game tonight almost single-handedly in those last 12 minutes. What a journey he's been on in the last couple of months. Like, what do you think is going through his head, and how important is he to Manchester United at the moment?
He's absolutely vital to us at the moment. Genuinely, without him, we are in a relegation fight. No two ways around it. Without his goals, Manchester United have lost significantly more games than the significant number of losses that we've had this year. He's gone from holding Anthony's jock to being the best player at the club in the space of 3 months. Now, I think there was plenty of people that were asking for him to be given a chance over Anthony. And maybe even over like Garnacho and Rashford, who were playing quite a lot earlier in the season, certainly starting ahead of him. And you just think it's mad to think that Ten Hag wasn't recognising his talent. That's one of the things you can go, well, no one's defending you on that one.
No.
There's a few things that have happened under Amorim where you go, yeah, Ten Hag had to deal with that as well at the same time. But the one kind of constant that Amorim's had is he got into training, went, fucking hell, little fella's good, isn't he? Yeah, we're playing him all the time.
Yeah.
And he's delivering, whether it's on the right-hand side of the three or whether it's as the right wing-back. He just comes on, he plays his game, he gets stuck. This is what I love about him. He gets stuck in. Yeah. Like, you can rely on him defensively as much as you can rely on him going forward as well. What an asset that is. Joe would have loved him. Roy Keane would have loved him.
Yeah, he would.
Roy Keane would have gone to absolute bat for him because he's an honest grafter of a player. Sometimes you get players that, they're excellent technically and they can score you some goals, but there's something about them that Roy Keane wouldn't have liked. And that's usually a good judge of character.
Yeah.
And I think Roy Keane would have absolutely loved Diallo.
Yeah. Look how many goals we've scored from him pickpocketing the last man or the goalkeeper or whatever it may be, just in the last 2 months. It's like 4 or 5 at this point where literally directly from him winning the ball back, he's either scored or we've scored straight away. No one else can say that. I know players have done it, but it's like becoming his trademark. That goal tonight is almost Amad Diallo's trademark goal, pickpocketing the last man and putting it in. What a thing to have that is, working hard. The rest of the performance then, we do have, I know you mentioned it earlier, but I was really hoping and almost certain the first 15 minutes tonight we were going to come out the blocks, absolutely smash into Southampton. The momentum we've got from those last 2 games, I thought we'd see whether we tailed off or whether we lost a bit of confidence if we didn't get a goal. I thought we'd get a great 15 minutes of energy out of United. And right from the start, it wasn't right. What do you think Amorim is thinking? Like, how did that happen? Where we have these 2 sort of crucial performances against Liverpool and Arsenal, and then you're playing one of the worst teams in Premier League history at home, and from the first minute up until like the 60th minute, they were the better side. What does Amorim do to change this?
I don't know, and I want to really reiterate the point that you just made, that they were the better side. This is a Southampton team, John. It's won 1 game.
Yeah.
1. They are on 6 points. It is January. We are in the final stretch of the season, and they've got 6 points.
Yeah.
Like, if they 10x their season, they're going down still.
Yeah.
You know, they pretty much need to win every game. Or if they win half of their games, they still might go down. They're not winning half of their games. They didn't come and sit back. They put it on us. And I liked putting Amad as right wing back, because I thought, okay, what we're going to do here is we're probably going to play with 4 or 5 defensively minded players, and then we're going to push on with the rest. And we're probably expecting Southampton might want to try and get behind the ball, so you play with a little bit of risk at the back and you push forward and you try and overload in their back line, and you do. No, we're going to end up having our back 5 push back.
Yep.
And have to get 9 men behind the ball, because they're working us. They're putting it on us. The gaps were atrocious. You know, and it's a confusing performance, because you've just seen the team. I mean, how many replays have we seen of De Ligt's sprint back? If that's not epitomising what Amorim wants in his team against Arsenal the other day, if that's not the epitome of what Amorim wants in his team, I don't know what is. But then you look at how flat that performance was, just how lacking energy and spark and all of the things that we've seen against Liverpool and we've seen against Arsenal. It's a confusing performance, because you go, I don't actually fully understand why we've looked so flat. Are the players, have they burnt themselves out? Was it a bridge too far with the extra time against Arsenal? Is that an excuse? Because you would understand if we faded in games. But we started slow. I don't get that.
Yeah.
And he was pretty ruthless with his subs. You know, he's hooked Kobe Mainu, he's hooked Ugarte. I was thinking that's a big decision, that, you know. You know, he brings Ugarte on. He brings Xerxes on. Xerxes comes on and does so much more than Højlund did for the time he was on the pitch. You know, it was really causing them problems, was really getting at them. Just... It's a confusing performance, mate, and one that I don't know how you fix. I think you've got to figure out what's going on with Garnacho. Is he staying or is he going? Make your decision, make it publicly, and move on with whichever the decision is. And can we get Rashford gone if he's going? Because he's just lingering around now, not being selected. Just what's the point? Why have we not got this over the line just yet? Clearly a decision's been made, because he's not even in the matchday squads anymore, is it? So it's like, what's going on here? Move him on, and then let us bring somebody in that's going to contribute to wherever we're going to end up this season. Because I think that there's some decent blocks in place for us to do quite well, whatever that is. Does that mean top 4? Probably not at this stage, but we might have a strong end to the season and we might be able to build on it. But I don't think it's going to happen unless you're up and get signings, and you certainly can't allow Rashford and Garnacho to leave and just be like, right, sound, let's crack on with where we are. Like, we haven't got enough goals as it is. Yeah. You've just let our 2 top scorers leave and think we're going to be sound. Mental.
Yeah, you mentioned there about Garnacho. I think there was a report tonight from Laurie Whitwell that United have pushed or rejected an offer or kind of closed an offer from Napoli and kind of said back off a little bit. I don't know if that's them trying to get more money. I don't know if that's the end of it, but it seemed like he's sort of saying for now that isn't happening. So hopefully that's a little bit of closure that you're wanting. The Rashford one obviously carries on. Just looking ahead a little bit to Brighton at the weekend. They're a much better side than Southampton, but play with some of the same ideas of pushing high, winning the ball high up. There were times tonight where we'd pass it around the back, they'd push high, we'd give it back to Onana, he wouldn't know what to do. He'd either go long or he'd play it to another centre-back who would themselves go long. Like, our ability to play out against high pressers, we saw it against Bournemouth, we got battered. We saw it tonight for portions of the game, they kind of battered us. Brighton at the weekend, how do we stop that? How do we play out against teams who push high and put pressure on our midfield and defence?
What's frustrating about it is, like, on paper, we've got a defence and a midfield that should be able to do it.
Yeah.
And a goalkeeper that should be doing it. But what we've seen is, we played against Liverpool and we played against Arsenal, and to a greater or lesser extent tonight, we just didn't engage in it. We just went, we're not doing that.
Yeah.
We just twatted it long. It's not what I'd call an optimal tactic, but it is what we're doing. For whatever reason, I don't agree with it, but it is what we're doing. And I think I'll be shocked if we don't do it again at Brighton.
Yeah.
Knowing how they like to set up and how they like to win the ball back, I think we just won't engage in it. And I think it could be useful. Like, Arsenal do it quite effectively, to be fair, because they've got some big boys up front. They go to Havertz. Havertz is way more effective at holding it up than he looks like he would be. But for the size of him, the big rugby league looking fuck, Xerxes can't win any of those balls and hold it up in that sense. He knits play like he's a traditional number 10. But looking at him, he should be the 2025 version of Mark Hughes, and he's not. He's just he's I don't know what he is, but he's not that. And Højlund might as well not bother. Like, he just does not win any duels, ever. Like, how is Ahmad way more effective at doing it than he is?
I don't know.
Ahmad needs a stepladder to get close to him, and he just can't fucking deal with it. So, it's a problem when we're going long to two players who, when you look at them, because Højlund's a big lad as well, and Xerxes literally looks like he fucking has a part-time job playing for Salford Reds. They look like they should be able to hold the ball up, and neither of them can. And we're going long to two lads who just get battered by centre-halves. Like, they're awful at it. Like, if you just got a big bully in just to hold the ball up for United, we'd be so much better. Because Onana can send it. He's got a decent range on his kicks, but he just gives it away because whoever he's sending it to can't do fuck all with it.
It is a bit of a worry, isn't it? But 3 crucial points took us from 15th to 12th. If just quickly, for the rest of the season, is the expectation just try and do a little bit of run in the cups and don't embarrass yourself in the league, or are you still thinking 7th place, maybe 8th place with the coefficient might get us a European spot? What even is the aim between now and the end of the season? Because we're so far off. I know we won tonight, but what's your goal for the rest of the season if you're sort of Ruben Amorim?
We're like 5 points off Brighton, mate, and then 9th.
I know, it's weird, isn't
like,
it? Yeah.
If I said to you top half, it feels unambitious to say top half, but genuinely, do you think we can catch Villa?
No.
Because I'm not sure we can.
They're 9 points ahead of us at the minute. I don't see why we'd catch them.
No, I think you'd have to. I mean, and they're level with City. Like, it's like sitting here saying, do you think we can catch City? Now, I know City are in a bad run of form, but surely not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then that's 6th and 7th.
Yeah.
If you're not chasing 6th and 7th, you're chasing fucking Bournemouth and Brighton and Fulham, which, I'm sorry, this is Manchester United last time I checked. The fact that we're sitting here thinking we might be able to get ahead of fucking Fulham. Yeah, we already embarrassed ourselves in the league this year, Joe.
Too late.
You might resurrect a little bit in the cups, but the embarrassment's already there. We're already wearing that badge.
Yeah. That's a good point. Right, thank you, Steve, for joining us. Thank you at home as well. At least, if nothing else, we've learned a bit more about the squad. We've learned a bit about who we can rely on. Ahmad, again, continues to be a shining light. There's knowledge coming out of this, even if there's not points and league positions and all that. We don't even have to worry about that. We can try and win the FA Cup instead. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for joining us at home. Hit subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We'll see you in a bit.